Today I'm going to have a go at making some homemade bass lures. I was on a local mark and I was watching an old boy fishing, catching loads of bass. I had a chat with him at the end of the session and I just asked what he was using, and he very kindly showed me some pictures of some homemade lures he makes. So I picked up some cheap spinners. These are 10-gram spinners, and what he was doing, he was taking off the treble, keeping the treble itself but cutting off 2 of the hooks, and then running a line from there to a single hook where he was putting either a soft bait or a bit of ragworm. So there's the spinner. We're going to get on and adapt and change the actual setup itself. So I'm just going to take off the actual treble, the one on it. This isn't the best quality treble anyway. I've got plenty of spare ones, so we'll just take that off because it's not on an actual movable clip. That leaves us with the spinner and the weighted base at the bottom. So I'm just going to use a split ring. Place the split ring. Now we've got the split ring on there, gives us the ability to swap and change the hooks. Next we're going to take one of the trebles and we're going to go right in as close to the actual bar itself. We'll just snip that off like so. Right, so the next step is to get a length of line. I'm just going to use some nice thin 10-pound line, and then we're going to tie the knot onto the hook. So I'm just going to tie a simple blood knot onto the hook. So I've got a nice tidy simple blood knot on the hook, and then we want to face that side like so. Just cut off the tag end, and then the idea is this is going to run flush along there, and then we just band it on so that it stays straight. Then we're going to take the length of line depending on how long you want the trace. I don't want a large trace because it's got a higher tendency to tangle up. And again, we're just going to tie on the hook. Take off the tag end. So we have our treble, which has been cut down, running through to a single hook. I'm using a worm hook, so it's got the smaller barbs on the outside just because it's easier to attach a worm or a lure. So for example, if I'm going to use a small shad, something like this for example, I can go in through the nose and I can push the nose up to the hook, to the eye of the hook. So you can have a lure run into your main hook like so. Small worm lures, these are used for perch fishing, but these have done really well just dragging behind. They create a little bit of movement. And then the most successful is a ragworm. I don't have any on me at the moment. I just decided to share this video. I'm just going to attach it to the spinner. So there we go. There we have the rig itself set up. So you've got your spinner, which you attach to your main line, which is going to create movement and vibration in the water. And you have a high chance of the attack coming onto the spinner itself, in which we've got the individual hook set up, and then you've got it running to a single hook with either a worm or a small lure, a small soft jelly lure, a piece of squid, or a small piece of ragworm. You can change the hook size, the hook length. You can use a lot smaller if you're targeting smaller bass. But that's the idea behind the rig, and this is what I learned off of someone who was clearly doing very well catching the bass. Relatively easy to make. These are cheap to buy. I think I paid about £2.50 for the top part of the hook from Angling Direct. You can buy some rubber sleeves which you can actually put over the top and then heat. I've just banded it on, but the same idea applies. It just gives that one hook at the top and a single at the bottom. I prefer not to use trebles. I find that trebles, every time I've caught on a treble, it's done a lot of damage to the fish. Hope you like that. Let me know if you want to see some other little rigs that I've made up. Give you an idea for a rig to try. It's always good to experiment when it comes to lure fishing and different ways to attract those elusive bass. Thanks for watching, and I'll hopefully see you in a future video where I'll take this rig out and I'll show you how it works in the water. Bye bye.